Hey guys, I got another quick video for you guys today. Today's Tuesday in the afternoon. We had some time to look at this one machine here. This is a Ryobi backpack leaf blower. The official designation for this one right here. I'll show you the back tag right here. This is the bp42 backpack leaf blower, 185 mph, 510 CFM. And we'll show you the other tag right here for the machine as well too. They have the tag on the right hand side underneath here. Got your emissions control tag. We'll just see if we can zoom in on this thing right here for you. Give you a nice close-up hopefully here. Okay, focus. Here you go. There's a model number. There's the date of manufacturer and the serial number as well too. So there's the information specifically on the machine's type, model, and the displacement and when it was actually produced. So we'll back it out here again. Customer called us up over here a couple days ago. I should say it was actually on Monday morning. I should say more precisely. They were calling us up and said they were out there using it in their yard out there. The machine would not stay running out there for the client, and they want to bring it over today. So we said go ahead, no problem. And they brought it over here, and they want to have us take a look at it because the machine was running perfectly fine. I guess for the past 6-7 years out there. This thing's I think about 2013, I believe. Let me just double check it again here because I'll just double check it in here again. Yeah, it's a 2013 on a model right here for that. So the 2013 model year. So it basically will be running for at least 7 years right there. Okay. They wanted the machine taken a look at. We took a look at it over here. The carb on this machine, they do have an adjustable carb on here. However, this one right here, because of the problem they have with the machine right here, it's always better to replace the carb than try to rebuild it because unfortunately they don't have a rebuild kit when you look up the IPLs for this machine. Because anytime you look up some of these lower end machines out there for that, you have to replace the whole carb as a unit down inside here because unfortunately, like I said before, they don't have any rebuild kits for the machine when you look them up on the IPLs on various websites that they're for that. So this machine, I think carb going for about 75 bucks if I recall correctly. The air filter, or I should say the intake manifold on here, it also needs to be replaced when you do these carb jobs because unfortunately a lot of the times the intake manifold basically peels off with the carb and you have to replace the intake manifold on it as well too. So what I'll do is I'll put a link at the bottom of the page right here if you have a machine of this type right here, bp42, and we'll put a link at the bottom of the page. So if you want to possibly purchase a carb and the intake gasket, one other problem these machines have is because you can't actually buy the fuel line separate from the machine on here. You have to buy the whole stupid tank, unfortunately, right there for that. That's one of the other problems with these lower end machines versus having like a higher end steel or a Husqvarna machine out there. If you want to do the job right, you would have to buy the tank and the carb and also the intake gasket. You probably can get away with reusing the old fuel lines on it, but because the age of the machine, it's about 7.5 years right there for that. Me personally, I would be able to give the customer a better warranty simply because we can replace all the parts on it, and go from there. Because at least if we replace a tank and to replace the carb, the intake gasket, everything's basically brand new right there for that. Because unfortunately, a lot of these fuel lines on these machines, they tend to get really stiff and hard over time. And we had one customer about 4 years ago. They didn't want the fuel lines replaced, even though we told them it had to be done, and they said they didn't want to spend the dough to have it done. So what happens was they called us up about a month later, telling us we didn't do the job right, and the fuel lines apparently cracked on his machine out there for that. And he wants to do the job, job for free practically. So that's why we tell the customer we have to give you the option of doing it right or doing it cheap. If you want the job done cheap, we cannot provide you a warranty. If you want the job done right, we do give you a warranty on the job right there for that. And that's why we always recommend and advise to have the job done thoroughly and completely as well too. So I'll go ahead and see if I can fire this machine up here for you because we did manage to get the thing running. Did have a lot of water down inside the tank right here for that. We took the tank off, cleaned it up, and we got the thing pumped through on it with some new gasoline in there as well to try to purge all the water in the system on here for that. So let me put my camera down here real quick, and I'll see if I can get things started right here as well too, guys. So bear with me here for a couple seconds while I put the camera down. Okay, get this thing situated over there. Let's see if we'll start up over here, no problem. Okay. I'm not promising anything, but I don't know if it's going to start okay. Yeah, it still doesn't want to start. Yeah, this doesn't want to run right. There we go. Yeah, I even adjusted the carb on this one as well too, because the carb it looks like somebody screwed in the high speed setting about, I'd say about 3/4 of the way in, and we had to open it up about another 3/4 out, and it started to run as it is right now. But it will not stay running, and you have to replace the carb as a good way to solve the problem, because if you don't do that, you can't do anything else with it. They don't offer any rebuild kits, as I said before. One other thing you should always check on these machines, always check the compression on the machine. Make sure it has at least 100 psi on the engine down inside here. The minimum cutoff thing for any kind of job that I have over here, it's about 90 to about 95, but I typically like to have at least 100 psi in there, so the machine would be functional out there for that. Because if you get between 90 and 100 out there, it starts getting iffy out there, and you just don't want to have a machine where the customer calls you up a month later or 2 months later saying, my machine won't start, what you guys do to it. That's why we always recommend and advise the customer before they order any parts for the job and have it repaired by us over here for that. That's why I got about 100 psi as like a threshold, satisfactory, doing a job out there for that. Plus, you also want to check out the exhaust ports on any two-stroke over here as well too. You got your muffler down inside here. You just take off the bolts on here and you just pop the muffler off, and you verify the ports are okay. If the ports are okay, it should be okay to repair, because you have to have a good internal engine in there. They have good compression. The rings have to be good. The cylinder wall has to be good. And if there's something like you have a heavy scoring down inside the cylinder assembly, it ain't going to be worth repairing, unfortunately. So gotta have good compression. Got to have good spark on the machine as well too, and you have to have the good fuel system on it as well too, in order for the machine to run as it should out there for that. So if you have some kind of a problem with one or multiple of the three right there, your machine won't run correctly. And unfortunately, we had one guy this past week over here. He called us up and he told us on the phone that he basically dumped, I don't know, about $100 into his machine. He had a steel backpack leaf blower. He bought for like, I don't know, like $500 or $600, I guess, off of eBay. And the guy who sold to him told him the machine was, running okay at the time. And he went ahead and bought the thing out there used, and he took it home, and he couldn't get the machine running, so he started throwing all kind of parts at this stupid thing. He went out and bought a new ignition coil. He bought a new muffler. He bought a new carb, and the thing still wouldn't run. And we told the guy to, bring it over to us over here, and he didn't want to spend any more money on a stupid job. And I told him, well, sir, you shouldn't have dumped, over $100 of parts in the machine unless you knew what was going on the job better for that. So that's why I always tell people, if you don't know what you're doing, don't put any kind of money into the machine unless you can verify the kind of problem you're having with it out there for that, because you don't want to end up putting $150, $200 in the machine that's basically scrap. And my hunch was the guy had some kind of a compression issue in there, and he may have some kind of a scoring or some kind of a crankcase gas vent leak somewhere, because the crankcase has to be sealed up completely, and if it's not, you're gonna have problems with the machine with hard starting out there for that. And that's probably what happened to the guys steal he got off of eBay out there for that. So buyer beware. I really don't trust too many people on eBay when you're buying used equipment, because the person selling it to you can be a total lying sack of crap out there, and you don't know if they're being totally honest about what they're selling there. So I just recommend verifying, from your end that they have some kind of warranty after you purchase some kind of a used piece on eBay. And I wouldn't even, think about going on Craigslist, because a problem with Craigslist is 99% of the time, if you buy something from Craigslist on there, you're not going to get a warranty, and the guy might be some kind of a fly-by-night guy on top of that as well too. So always buy from a person who's reputable, has a warranty as well too to go with your machine. So if anybody has any questions about this job here, just feel free to drop me a message here, and I'll put a link at the bottom of the page where you can actually purchase the parts for this one right here, the tank, the carb assembly, the intake gasket on it as well too, so you can have a reference where to go if you want to buy parts for this specific machine, or if you're working on one like this, or if you have a family or friend or somebody else who's working on one for you guys. So I'll see you. Have a nice day.